Hey Star System fans, it's Goliath here. Today I want to talk about the optimal joystick and keyboard configuration for a more enjoyable experience than mouse and keyboard. While joystick and keyboard are not as good as dual joystick configurations, I will attempt to provide a configuration that is competitive to use. So what kind of joystick should you be using with your keyboard? While there are a few such as a Logitech 3 Pro or Satek X52, the best entry-level joystick by far is the Thrustmaster T16000M due to its accurate sensors for the entry-level price. If you can afford anything more, you really should be going dual joystick by purchasing another T16000 for your left hand and then following my previous video. The next thing to consider is positioning. The most optimal position for any joystick is at your side, with your arm making an 80 to 90 degree angle. By doing this, you will fatigue at a much slower rate. If you have a keyboard tray, I would put your keyboard on that to lower it down so there isn't as much of a height difference between the joystick and the keyboard. Also, try to find a way to put your joystick at your side, even if it means taping it to a bar stool. Alternatively, you may be able to put your joystick on the keyboard tray if it's low enough and wide enough. However, if all you can do is put it on top of your desk, don't sweat it. Now it's time to talk about keybinds. We're going to go ahead and head to Options, Keybinds, make sure this is on keyboard and mouse, and then Advanced Control Customization. We're going to want to go ahead and head to Movement. For pitch and yaw, you can leave this as this. This is for the mouse, just ignore that. For roll left and right, so this is probably going to be your Q and E, unbind it. And the reason we're going to unbind it is we're going to be putting that on the joystick, the twist essentially. So for the space break, you can leave that as X. Same thing with this, for decouple mode, leave that. Strafe up is spacebar, nothing wrong with that. However, you'll notice that I put strafe down on left shift, and the reason I did that is I want to make sure that I got my hands on these keys right here, my translational keys, as much as possible. I don't want to accidentally have to hit control and now I've just shifted my hand off of W, for example. If you can reach it, that's fine. It comes down to preference. To me, left shift is just simply a better way of doing that. Because we're going to be putting Afterburner, we're going to actually be putting this on our stick. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is go to our defensive. So I had removed those. So we're going to actually put our countermeasures here instead. And this is what this is going to allow us to do, is to hit our countermeasures when we need to without taking our hands again off the controls, just simply for trying to hit a key. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and head to our joystick. And you're going to notice that this pitch is X and Y for yaw. And then we've got roll, pretty standard. And then for our speed limiter, this is going to be our top and bottom hat buttons on our joystick. Next, we're going to want to go ahead and scroll down, and we're going to want to go ahead and put Afterburn on the joystick's left top button. And we're going to go ahead and go to targeting. And I'm going to go ahead, and I've got auto on essentially one of my hat buttons, my right hat button, and then I've got select target under reticle. You can make this your middle button on your joystick, and then if you wanted to, you could do target nearest hostile on one of the other hat buttons. And now we're going to go ahead and do weapons, and we're going to go ahead and put fire groups 1 and 2 on the middle trigger, essentially the trigger. And then what you're going to want to do is put your acquire missile. We're going to want to put that on the joystick's right button. And for the most part, that should conclude the key binding for this joystick and keyboard setup for essentially PvP. If you enjoyed the video today, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned to more of our control scheme guides. Renegade signing off.